Hello guys, and welcome to another ship showcase. Today we will be doing a very special showcase, as this is the first ship produced by our company. Today we will be looking at the Jilted. This can be purchased via the SSC, which is our company. And it is a pretty useful ship. Let's get into some statistics right off the bat. So it has a lot of nice features from the bridge here, but it also has a whole load of ore crates, 200 of them. It has 24 million propellant coming from 6 medium propellant tanks. It runs off T2 generators. It has 3 lasers, 2 collectors, and 1 material scanner. And here's a really nice feature about it. As you can probably tell, it has an asteroid avoidance system on board. Not only that, but empty, it goes max speed. When this thing's fully loaded down, you're still looking at 130 meters a second, I'd say. 130, 125. I mean, it's a damn fast ship, and especially nice because you have that asteroid avoidance system in there. So, per the usual, let's head back to the back here. I'll tell you what, this thing kind of reminds me of the Tantive 4 from Star Wars. It kind of has that boxy look on the rear end. Got a whole load of thrusters back here. They are T1 thrusters, but hell, this thing goes max speed, so doesn't make too much of a difference. Then we have this really nice thruster design. These are coming off of 15-degree angle beams, and it looks really cool flying, as I'm sure you guys saw in the montage. We've got some radiators here on the side. Moving inwards, it actually does come with the fast travel setup on board, pre-assembled. And then all through here we have extra slots for fuel rods. Really, you can mount fuel rods anywhere on these beams. And not only that, as far as I know, they're not explosive, so it's no more of a risk than having the propellant tanks explode on you. If we make our way to the middle here, we have some of our asteroid avoidance rangefinders, as well as your typical 4 rangefinder setup to help guide you. I guess it has more than 4, but let's go ahead and take a look down here at the bottom. Now here's something that I need to note. If we can hop in here, let's take a look at this. We can see that our fuel rods are in these little slots here. We've got 2 here. We move over to the next side, we've got another 2. And finally, we've got another set right here. Now these things can be a pain to change out, but it's alright, you just have to kind of wiggle them in there. But on the upside, the generators are super protected. I mean, this ship can take an absolute beating. Look at the beam work here. I mean, this thing has beams galore. It's a very stable ship. Alright, let me get correctly oriented here so this all looks right. As I mentioned earlier, this thing does have 3 mining lasers, 2 ore collectors, and then you've got your material scanner as well on the bottom. Whole load of rangefinders. And if we look up here at the top, this is actually your resource port here to connect to. Now let's hop inside here and go through some of the interesting features this ship has. So if we squeeze down in here, from the back we have access to all the YOLO racks and the YOLO chips. And then we also have these extra thrusters here. Now you may ask, well, why are there extra thrusters? We have thrusters up there already hooked up. Well, these are backups. I'm sure you guys have hit asteroids before, and you know damn well if you hit it from the front end, that thing's gonna tear apart your bridge. And so what you do with these are actually already pre-labeled. So all you have to do is mount them up here at the front. They're already labeled. All you have to do is mount them and wire them back up. Let's move up here so you can get into the seat just from the outside, or you can also wiggle in. Whoops. Well, now I'm not oriented correctly, but you can wiggle in from the side back there. Alright, so let's take a look at the left side here. We've got your typical useful information such as propellant, radiation rate, battery, generator unit rate. And then we have our cruise mode and our full cargo mode. Now, you press this button when you're under load, and what it does is it puts your FCU at 70%. Or 90%. My apologies. This button will put your FCU at 90%, so it helps when you're under load to go ahead and press this button. And then down here we have our asteroid avoidance system, but we'll get to that later. Let's look over here on the right side. So this uses kind of like a switch setup. It's really neat to operate. It kind of feels badass to use. But we'll start up here anyways. This tells the distance to the asteroid. Here we can see what we're about to mine. It will tell you the KV. We've got some useful information for these switches here, and then we've got a navigation system. Now if we look right here, mining mode actually has quite a different array of features. It's not your typical mining mode. So when you turn the mining mode on, what it does is it activates the ore collector and it sets the generator to 50%. Not only that, it also turns on your turtle mode. So this is also turtle mode. And the turtle mode is a special turtle mode, so the reverse thrusters don't get reduced. That way you can still have your stopping power intact. Now this mining mode does need to be on for the lasers to work, so that's kind of another fail-safe. And so if we go ahead and flip that on, we can see our distance rangefinder coming out there. Down here at this switch we've got our laser mode, so just our simple pulse mode. Now finally, let's look down here. Now the transponder, you have the on position and you have the off position. That's typical. But what I've seen on ships that I absolutely love, and this is especially useful for when you're out in the field trying to find your friends, it has a pulse mode. So if we flip that on, this thing's going to run for 10 seconds and then it's going to go ahead and click off. So, you know, you can do these short pulses to help you find your friends, or help your friends find you, that is. There it goes. It's clicked off. Now I told you we'd get back to the asteroid avoidance system, so let's go ahead and turn that on. Now what we can do here is we can kind of test it out manually without having anything in front of us. And we can just take a look at how this works. Now these rangefinders do go out to 1 kilometer, so they'll get you out of the way really quickly and in plenty of time. Let me go ahead and turn this back off. Another thing to note about the bridge here is it's very well protected. Let's look at this beam setup. So if an asteroid comes flying in here, it's probably going to be deflected by these beams here. But if they're not, we've got a whole nother safeguard. As well as the equipment up here has a safeguard as well, and down here. Alright, let's go ahead and hop in the ship. Let's take it for a cruise. Test out how it flies. So like I mentioned earlier, this thing is a max speed ship. Let's go ahead and test the pitch. It feels nice, I like it. It's not too quick, not too slow either. Let's go ahead and test the yaw. So this feels a little faster than the pitch, but it's still not bad at all. And finally, the roll. Now the roll is pretty slow here, but I think that's acceptable since roll isn't used a whole heck of a lot. Now let's turn on the mining mode. This is something that I really liked while I was filming the montage and when I've flown this ship in the past. So now we have our turtle mode on. This is super smooth, especially when you're trying to eat away at an asteroid and maybe leave behind some of the outer shell and just get the core. You're gonna get some really fine movements in here to be able to do that. Overall, I'm really liking this ship. Not only does it look cool with the slanted thruster design, it's also incredibly useful with the asteroid avoidance system. It's quick, and it's not too badly priced. It's a good stepping point between, say, a smaller ship like a Memento or a Belka, and in between a bigger ship like the Amphitrite. So it's a really good stepping stone ship. This is a really good ship when it comes in terms to value. And I know for a fact the designer Sunsea takes a lot of recommendations into account. This is probably his 8th version of this thing. I mean, he changes it all the time to make it better. He even gets in there and tries to make the YOLO scripts more efficient. He really puts in some good work on this thing. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. On the other hand, if you'd like to get a hold of this ship, we are selling the blueprint and the company Discord link below. So go ahead down there, join the Discord, and then there's going to be a channel you're going to find and be able to purchase it through there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.